Hey, happy life, happy journey. Welcome to Facebook world. Welcome to YouTube world. Welcome to Instagram world. Welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So today's surrender the path. Surrender the path. Today's walking the path. Hey, everybody. Hello. Today's walking the path is the first of a series of 5 on surrender. Surrender has 5 parts, I decided. And but it does really. And so we're going to be talking about that. But I always like to talk first a little bit about rythmia, to just give you a sense of what's going on here, because this talk is under the aegis of rythmia, right? I get to be here because of rythmia, so I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for rythmia. I'm grateful for Jerry. I'm grateful for Jeff. I'm grateful for all the people that come here. I was just having lunch outside. It's a beautiful day in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. And hey, everybody, I'm going to get to saying hi in a minute, but I'm just welcome. And I was having lunch with people. I mean, a lady from the UK, Iranian investment banker, guy from the inner city in Los Angeles, just, random group of people at Rythmia, all having amazing experiences. Some tough, some not understanding, some still in the process, some having received their miracle. And what's the miracle at Rythmia? The miracle at Rythmia is that you merge back with your soul. You merge back to a state of wholeness, because we typically have these things that kind of pull at us. It's like a tug of war or an inner civil war. And we're sort of warring with ourselves to a great degree. I like this. I don't like this. I want more of this. I want less of that. All of the stuff that keeps us kind of locked in these habitual patterns and tends to have us say, wow, I wish my life were different. I just can't seem to get out of it. I wish I could change this about myself. I just can't seem to. I really need to be more healthy. I really need to start doing X, Y, or Z, and I just can't. Or, I'm really unhappy in my job. There's got to be more to life. Or I used to like doing these things, and now I don't like doing them anymore. When that stuff happens, that's a sign that there's that inner civil war, that inner tug of war. And so that means you're divided. You're split. You're split from the truth of who you are. And there's this wobble, right, going back and forth. And merging with your soul, coming back to your inherent state of wholeness, because you're never not whole. By the way, just in case you didn't know, you're perfect, whole, and complete no matter what. Perfect, whole, and complete no matter what. No matter what the circumstance, no matter what you did or didn't do, no matter what, you're perfect, whole, and complete. I'm perfect, whole, and complete. It's something to remember. No matter what the appearance, we're perfect, whole, and complete. So even though all that stuff might be happening in your life, you're perfect, whole, and complete. We just forgot. The Course in Miracles says the only lack we need correct is a sense of separation. A sense, because we're never separate. We just think we are. And so it's all the mental stuff that gets in front of us. And so what happens at Rythmia is an amazing opportunity to work with this beautiful plant medicine that has the power, in combination with the very specific regimen and curriculum at Rythmia. Farm-to-table organic food, mud baths, saltwater pools, hot pools, cold pools, saunas, meditation, yoga, breath work, metaphysical classes, colonics, massages. Did I mention massages? And plant medicine ceremony, and breath work, and community, and tribe, and vibe, and all of it works together to bring about this miracle. And that's what's happening every week here. It's such a privilege to be here. So that's about Rythmia. Now, that actually works perfectly with our topic, because one of the main things one of the main pieces of working with the plant medicine is surrender and trust. And surrender is a key to life. Now, the typical dictionary definition of surrender is that it's like the white flag, right? You're retreating. And giving up to somebody else's authority. You surrender to their authority. You put yourself under their aegis, and it's a tactical move, and it typically results in failure, right? It's the effect of failure, right? I lost the war. I got to surrender. That's not what this kind of surrender is. Before I get into surrender, let me say hi to some people. Sherry, blessings. Good to see you. Mateus, wow. It's been a minute, Mr. Mateus Amadeus. Diego, great to see you. Rebecca, Barati, thank you. Hello, Nadia. Debbie, wonderful. Aloha, Debbie. Nicole, Linda, Thomas Young, Diego and Sylvia. Thank you. And Darren. Hello, Darren. Good to see you. And over here in the Instagram world, thank you, everybody. Lucine, Liz. Oh, wow. Carlson. Great to see you. Some of these folks. Alfred, Mika. Hey, T Bliss. What's up, T? Good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay. So, we got Betty. So happy to be in this space with you today, too. So, surrender. Part 1, awareness. Surrender. Part 1, awareness. Sounds like I know what I'm doing. I don't know anything, but it is the Father within that does the work. It's the Spirit within, right? That's the key. We don't have to work so hard. We don't have to struggle when we bring our awareness to what's actually happening. We get a chance to look at things in a different way. So awareness, what is awareness? We're talking about surrender. One of the key pieces of surrender is awareness. So surrender is not the tactical retreat of a military surrender. Surrender is, or giving way to someone else's authority. This kind of a surrender is a giving up of the struggle, right? We talked, I think last week or the week before, about dropping the rope, right? We're giving up the struggle. We're dropping the rope of our inner tug of war. And we're just observing. Instead of actually doing, we're observing, we're being, right? And doing comes out of being. Doing comes out of being, but we have to be in a being state for right action to emerge. So we drop the rope, we surrender, and we bring our awareness. The first pillar of surrender is awareness. Now, what is awareness? Awareness is a state of consciousness, bringing our consciousness to something in front of us, right? We're putting our attention on it. Our attention is our awareness. What we're placing our intention on, what we're looking at metaphysically or physically, what we're looking at is what we're aware of, right? And the key of this piece is that the things that we want to change about ourselves, the things that we don't like, the things that we want to fix, the things that we want to alter, the things we want to get rid of, the things we want to cut out, all of those things, have you noticed in your own life that the more you try to get rid of them, the more they sort of stay ingrained? They sort of don't shift, right? Why is that? Because it's a habitual pattern. It's a tightly wound pattern. And this, Einstein said you can't solve the problem at the level of the problem. So the same thinking that got us into the issue that we're in right now, that thing we want to change, that habit we want to shift, that relationship that just seems to be stagnant, the same thinking that got us into that can't get us out of it, right? We can't, what got me in here was harder, faster, longer, stronger. I'm just going to keep doing that more, and I'm going to get out of it. It's like being stuck in the sand or in the mud, and you just keep spinning the wheel. Well, if I keep pushing on the gas and moving that wheel faster, I'm going to get out of here. But you stay stuck. In fact, you dig yourself deeper, right? That is what happens when we try to use the same level of consciousness that got us into the problem. That's what happens when we try to use that same level of consciousness to get us out of the problem. So how do we think outside the box? That's really the question. How do we think outside the box? By placing our awareness on what's going on. First, we got to see what's up instead of just keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? We got to see what's up. So placing our awareness, bringing our awareness to what's so. How am I feeling? Number one, it's not out there. We're not placing our awareness out there. We're placing our awareness in here, right? In here. What am I feeling? How is it making me feel? It's the biggest question we can ask. How is this situation making me feel? What am I being triggered by, right? We're bringing our awareness. Why? Because what's triggering us is a clue. It's like a breadcrumb that leads us back to an original core wounding. Now, listen to this. That original core wounding, it does not mean that you were abused or molested or something really horrendous happened to you in childhood. We all have, because everybody's like, oh, actually I had a really good childhood. I don't need to do any of this work. My parents were great. Good. I'm so glad. Me too. I had a great childhood. My parents were great. And I got a lot of shit going on, right? I got a lot of stuff to clean up. Why? Because it had nothing to do with my parents. It had everything to do with me. had everything to do with the story I was telling myself about what was going on. So awareness is us being able to look at the stories we're telling ourselves about what's happening. In fact, even more than just the stories we're telling ourselves now, it's about bringing our awareness to the habitual stories that we have told ourselves over and over again in an unconscious way. We don't even realize how often we're telling ourselves, you can't do that. You're not good enough. That's not going to happen. That never happens for you. No, nobody ever, you're the one that always just doesn't fit in. Don't worry. It's just the way it is. Yeah, you're the one that's always on the outside. Yep, just the way it is. These limiting stories are from childhood. Something happened. It could be benign. Somebody said something to you. You didn't get picked for kickball, or it could be nothing. But the story you told yourself was, I'm always last. I don't belong in this group. And then that story gets ingrained. And then something else similar happens to that story. Like something else similar happens. You entered a drawing and you didn't win the prize. You go, oh, well, I didn't get picked for kickball and I didn't win the drawing. I guess that's just, I don't win things. I don't get picked for things. And then something else happens and you didn't get accepted into a club. Well, obviously, boom, boom, boom. This thing happened, this thing happened, this thing happened. And every time something similar, but has nothing to do with the original core wounding, but it's similar, it triggers that original core wounding. It works like this. Like you see a snake and you go, snake, bad. I don't like snake. Okay, cool. You're walking down the street a little bit later and you see a rope. The rope reminds you of the snake. It's not the snake, but it reminds you of the snake. Rope, snake, bad. And then you see a stick. Stick, rope, snake, bad. None of these things. Stick is not a rope, and a rope is not a snake, and a rope is not a stick, and a stick is not a snake, right? But it's similar, and it triggers that original feeling of snake. Bad, gross, I don't like snakes, right? And so this is what happens in life. This is why we need to bring our awareness to what's up. This is why we need to bring our awareness to what's going on. How am I feeling? What story am I telling myself about this? What habitual pattern is this? Looking at just bringing our awareness, our observation of what's so. This is the beginning of unwinding these habitual patterns. We think I got to do stuff in order, I got to not do this, I got to give this up, no. The way to unwind the habitual pattern is first, yes, there will be right action to take, but first, bring your awareness to it. One of the best ways that we can bring our awareness to something is making it easy, light, and fun. So Pema Chodron, in her book, Start Where You Are, which is a wonderful book, has a chapter called Give Up All Hope of Fruition. She's unpacking, I think, 36 to 14th century Tibetan Buddhist slogans. And one of the slogans is Give Up All Hope of Fruition, which I thought was rather underwhelming, right? Like, give up hope. Or you could just say, give up hope. I was like, well, that's not very positive. That's not very affirmative and uplifting, Tibetan Buddhists. And, Pema Chodron writes so beautifully about this. And she says, the intention behind that slogan is to help you to see that anytime you're hoping for something better than now, or hoping for something better from the past, you're either fantasizing about the future or you're nostalgic about the past. Anytime you're doing that, you're not in the present. And the only place that anything is going on is right here. And when you get to the future, you're going to realize that there is here, that then is now. So all we got is now, right? So the beginning of the slogan, Give Up All Hope of Fruition, is telling us, hey, Tate, oh, fuck yeah. Good to see you, brother. Nicole, woohoo. So the slogan, Give Up All Hope of Fruition, is telling us, give up any hope for something better than this now moment. This is it. And in this moment, infinite potential, infinite possibility. Be here now, Nicole says. That's right. Infinite potential, infinite possibility exists in the present moment. So we have access to the eternal now from the present moment. And this is where we get to really do the work of unraveling these habitual thought patterns. So first of all, Anytime I'm trying to change something about myself, fix something about myself, I want to be taller, I want to be thinner, I want to be smarter, I want to be richer, I want to be more spiritual, I want to be more loving, whatever it is that I want to change about myself, I want to quit doing that, I want to do more of that, whatever it is that I want to change about myself is fundamentally saying who I am right now isn't enough. Who I am right now is bad, wrong, inefficient, ineffective, not good, right? Fundamentally. There's a biblical saying, right, that says, to he who has, even more shall be given. To he who has not, even that will be taken away. It speaks to the metaphysical principle of consciousness. A consciousness of abundance begets more abundance. A consciousness of lack begets more lack. So if I'm looking at myself and I want to change something about myself, I need to be better at X, Y, or Z, then I'm fundamentally saying in consciousness, I'm not enough right now. And the consciousness of lack says, the consciousness of lack, I'm not enough, will bring you more information about how you're not enough. So we want to bring our awareness to the story that we're telling ourselves. We want to bring our awareness to the lies that we're telling ourselves. We want to bring our awareness to the habitual patterns, to the feelings, to the thought tones that are undergirding and underwriting our current state of existence, which we're not happy with sometimes, right? Not that everybody's unhappy. I'm a really happy person, but there are things about me still. I know I'm really close to absolute perfection, but obviously it's infinite expansion, right? Okay, so, wow. I got a big, long comment here that I want to continue before I answer that comment. So here we are, back to surrender and this idea that how I'm thinking about myself, what stories, what things am I saying to myself? I want to bring my awareness to this. When I bring my awareness to it, those things that we've been trying to change, they just lose their pattern. We don't actually have to do anything. They lose their power when we bring our awareness to it, when we put our attention on what's going on, how am I feeling, what are the stories I'm telling myself, what are the narratives, what are my thoughts about what's going on, what is the habitual pattern. When we start to observe it, it tends to lose its power. So, the truth is there's not one, if, as I said in the beginning, you are perfect, whole, and complete no matter what. You're perfect, whole, and complete no matter what. If that's the truth, then there's nothing about you that needs to change. Oh yeah, but John Jacob, let me tell you all the things I need to change. I could tell you a million things I need to change about myself too. Let's anchor into this truth. Right now, we're perfect, whole, and complete just as we are. Right? Just as we are. There's a part of us that is eternal, unharmed, unendangered, has never been born and will never die. That part is the perfection of us at the center of our being. That's always there. There's another Buddhist saying that says, we're all struggling to become more of what we already are, right? How do we become more of what we are? By becoming less of what we're not. How do I become less of what I'm not? By observing all the stuff that's not me. All the stuff that's not perfect, whole, and complete no matter what. All the stories, all the lack, all the limitation, all the points of view, all the perspectives, all the judgments, all the opinions, right? That have nothing to do with the truth of who I am. I have to bring my awareness to it to unravel these patterns. There's a great little trick, and I got it from Pema Chodron in that book, Start Where You Are. And she talks about, whatever I'm trying to change about myself, whatever I'm trying to shift, instead of trying to do anything, all I need to do is place my awareness on it. I need to bring my awareness to it. How do I do that? She talks about putting a Buddha on it. Put a Buddha on it. What does that mean? Buddha isn't some dude that lived 2,500 years ago, isn't smarter than any of us will ever be. Buddha means awareness. It means awakened consciousness, right? So if I place my awareness on something, I'm putting a Buddha on it. And this is a fun little way to make it a little less heavy about the work that we're doing. So thank you, Sherry. Sherry's says, that's my favorite lesson. I see, sometimes I get the pleasure of sitting with Sherry in a private session and we talked about this. So thank you, Sherry. Putting a Buddha on it is saying, for example, if anger is my issue, I'm angry. I get angry at people and I blow up and, and I'm like, I got to stop being angry. And then something happens and I get angry and I'm like, fuck, I'm angry. I was angry. Now I'm angry at myself for being angry and more angry. I just can't solve the problem at the level of the problem. But if I put my Buddha on it, if I put my awareness on it and I go, oh, wow, I was just really angry. I mean, I set the intention to not be angry. I set the intention for peace. And what came up was anger, right? Instead of beating myself up for, fuck, I did it again. How about, oh, there's my angry Buddha. There's my angry Buddha. That part of you that's angry, it's happening for a reason. We can't just stop it. But when I bring my awareness to it, I start to loosen up around it. Oh, there's my angry Buddha. Because what we're saying is that there's not one part of you that doesn't deserve to be loved. There's not one part of you that isn't perfect, whole, and complete. There's not one part of you that doesn't deserve more affection, more acceptance. Condemnation never liberates. Condemning yourself for being angry, condemning yourself for your bad habits, condemning yourself, we think that that's going to motivate us. Has it ever motivated you? Has condemnation ever worked? When you were a kid, did it work? Did your parents condemning you of anything really help anything at all? No. And we do it to ourselves. Acceptance is the only thing that liberates. And the key to acceptance begins with surrender. And one of the main pillars of surrender is awareness. So awareness, I'm putting my Buddha on it. I'm bringing my awareness to it. So there's a habitual pattern of anger. And every time I get angry, I go, oh, there's my angry Buddha. And I begin to start getting a little distance between me and that thing that's happening. Because I'm not the anger. I'm the guy who's observing the anger. And now I get to watch it, and just in the observation of it and accepting it, not condemning it. We have to love those parts. They want more love, not less. The parts of us that we're trying to fix and condemn and cut out and shift and all that stuff, those parts want more love. They don't want less love. They want more love. How do we give them more? Like people say, you got to love that. But how do I fucking love my anger? I'm angry. I don't want to love my anger, right? How do I love it? Accept it. Love is acceptance. So if I begin to accept that part of myself, oh, there's my angry Buddha. It begins to liberate. It begins to liberate. There's an old Greek myth about the sirens. Before I go to the Greek myth, let's look at this. Sylvia says, we all have shit going on. I remember how tough it was for me to face my fears, but once I did, I went through that door wide open. Hallelujah. Fears are not always a bad thing. That's right. Very good, Sylvia. Thank you so much. I'm just looking. Thank you for all your comments. I don't want to waste. Thank you for your comments. And thank you, everybody over here. So, the old story, the old Greek myth of the sirens, right? The sirens were these mermaids. The sirens were these mermaids no man could resist the call of the sirens. And what would happen is there were the Straits of the Sirens. And this is in the Odyssey. Ulysses is coming home from the Trojan War, and he's trying to get home, and he's got to cross the Straits of the Sirens. And the sirens are these women that call the sailors off course. They make them crash their boats. It was like the Greek version of the Bermuda Triangle. Just shit went wrong in the Strait of the Sirens, all right? So Ulysses is trying to get home, and he wants to hear the call of the sirens. He goes, I want to hear them, but I don't want to succumb to them. I don't want, because the sailors would like jump in and drown, or they'd crash their boats. So he comes up with this idea. He tells his guys, tie me to the mast. Tie me to the mast of the ship, and don't untie me no matter what I say. Don't untie me. And you guys put wax in your ears so that you don't hear the sirens, and don't take the wax out till we get to the point on the other side of the straits, right? Okay. Well, he hears them, and the myth says if any man can hear the call and not get hooked by it, if he can hear the call and not get caught by it, the sirens will lose their power. What a profound and poignant myth. The story is our story. How many times are we called off course by the sirens of fear, doubt, lack, limitation, worry, not enoughness, just all of the stuff that we want to cut out, all the stuff that we want to change. We're just caught by all of the recrimination and self-condemnation. Those are our sirens calling us off course, right? And observation, awareness is the key. Awareness is like you putting wax in your ears. No, awareness is like you being tied to the mast and not being caught. You can hear the call, but you don't obey it. You don't get caught by it. Awareness is what helps you not get caught. There's my angry Buddha. There's my Buddha that wants to succumb to the sweet call of whatever my sin is, my quote sin, right? Whatever it is that I'm trying to not do, but I love doing, right? That thing that I think is bad. Uh-oh, we got a poor connection here. I think we're back. Okay, so the call of the sirens. This awareness is like our being tied to the mast. It's creating a structure. What did Ulysses do? He created a structure that supported him in completing his goal, which was to hear the call but not be caught. So I want you to hear the call of those things that have been calling you off course, limited points of view, limited perspectives, limiting beliefs, all of the stuff we tell ourselves, all the things we're trying to change. Just bring your awareness to it. Put a Buddha on it, right? Oh, there's my angry Buddha. There's my sad Buddha. There's my Buddha that ate after 9 o'clock, right? There's my Buddha that ate after 9 o'clock and didn't brush my teeth again. Right? You guys do that? You brush your teeth and you're like, oh, I want a little snack. And you're like, I don't want to brush my teeth again. Yeah, okay. I have that Buddha too. So, okay. I think this is it. Thank you, Mateus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. Mateus says, I love this lesson. Thank you. And Sherry's having a huge deja vu. Mateus, accept and recognize. Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Just so grateful, so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. So the lesson of acceptance is all we have to do is place our awareness on whatever it is that's troubling us, whatever it is that keeps us caught, right? Loving the shadow side. Yes, Miss Linda Young Thomas. Loving the shadow, that's exactly it. It is the only way to merge the two parts of ourselves, is to bring our awareness to whatever it is that's up for us and just observe it. And in our observation of it, thank you, Sylvia, in our observation of it, it loses its power. Peace and richest blessings. Thank you. Thank you to everybody in the Instagram world. And thank you to everybody in the Facebook Live and YouTube world.